of you are used to holding onto your threads when you start to sew. If you didn't, maybe the thread came out of the needle or get all kind of bunched up before you got going. Let me show you the key to making sure that you start off correctly and technically you don't have to hold these threads. So first off, when I do put my fabric in, I want to put it in far enough that when you look at the needle, it's going to come into the fabric first, not before it, like not into air. If it's going to come into air first, well, sometimes those threads might not get all the way connected, and you might want to still hold onto those threads a little bit for the first stitch or two. But if you can see fabric down inside your little foot here where the needle's going to stitch, you don't have to hold the threads. Now the reason for this is key, is look where my take-up lever is. He's right here. So when I ended my last stitch or my last sewing line, I made sure to turn my hand wheel over here and bring him up to the highest position. Now watch, when I go to sew, none of those threads jumped out of position. Now here's the key. So when you're done or you stop sewing, your needle will be either in your fabric, up, or somewhere in the sequence of the stitch. When you are ready to lift up your presser foot, and before you lift it up, take your hand wheel, turn it towards you. Let that needle take its final part of the stitch, and then look up here. When you see that take-up lever come to the highest position, now you know it's safe to lift the presser foot up, pull the fabric out. You can use a cool little thread cutter on the side of the machine from back to front. And now when I just put my foot down, I don't have to hold those threads. They didn't jump, they didn't move, and that's because I completed the stitch before I took it out at the end. So bring that all the way up to the top, lift up your presser foot, cut your threads, and that is a guarantee to not have sewing issues if you start and stop with your take-up lever at the highest position.